Okay, I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion of this situation. I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't been mind contaminated by X or anything like that. So I'm gonna watch this, give my opinion on it. Just a disclaimer, my opinion on it is I care about America more than other countries because I am from America. All right, that's it. That's the disclaimer. All right, let's look. Breaking news, Trump, Zelensky, and J.D. Vance have shocking explosive argument in the Oval Office. So, like, I woke up this morning and my mom was like, what was like, Trump and Zelensky like had a fight. And I was like, what? And she was going to show it to me and I just didn't click on it. So here we go. Let's see. And what actually, so I did kind of look at X just to check if anyone replied to my stuff from yesterday and like the day before. And I noticed some of my friends were very angry and saying that that big L for Trump. And I was like, interesting. But I didn't actually like look into like what happened. I'm just telling like what I saw. I saw people saying big L for Trump, but I don't know. A lot of my friends are lefties. So.
And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Okay.
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America.
Me too. Me too.
And for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I can be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more.
I mean, that's true. Like a lot of people were really upset that he was like kind of warm to like North Korea. But it's kind of like, if you want to make like good deals, you can't just like give people the stick all the time. When you're dealing with like other countries, right? You have to be realistic about it. And just being like outright hostile, if it doesn't get you what you want is kind of pointless.
Question.
Hey, I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir
God, guys, I love Yawgmoth's bargain.
Putin. And then Putin invaded Ukraine.
He's like one of my new favorites. Like, he's so good.
And destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied it.
Is this about to happen? Is this it? Is this the thing?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied it, our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden. Now
He's talking about Crimea, right?
President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was
killed.
not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's
I guess it's true because I think what he's saying is basically in front of the cameras is not the time to like have this conversation. And I think that's why JD Vance is like, yo, like you're fucking out of line right now. I think that's what's going on.
Diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about. What do you mean?
Because he's attacking what JD Vance said in front of like everybody basically, which is like basically is gonna force him to like have to fight him back like in front of everybody.
Talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around.
Yeah, so basically, like Vance's problem is that like this is something to be talked about first, not just like an ambush, basically.
And forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking.
Wait, did he really? Where?
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions.
Let's like back up again and let's like reanalyze what Vance says. This is a lot more important. Let's see it again.
You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. All right, one more question.
America, we had a president. Hey, I want to respond to this. So look.
I've ever seen, I'd be so tough, but you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look. For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Okay.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014.
Why can't Europe deal with this? It's in their backyard. They should do more.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of years. So I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yeah, like none of this stuff happened when Trump was in office.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah.
I will admit though, there is one thing that does kind of suck, and is that the state of the world is like affected by America's elections like disproportionately. I think if America gets like a weak leader, it's fucked. Like it fucks everybody up, and it's kind of sad. It's not ideal,
People
but
have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken the ceasefire. He killed our people.
okay, so basically, I mean, just to summarize what he's basically saying that like they engaged in democracy with these people, where they signed a thing to like basically be like we're not gonna attack anymore, and yet they still
He
did.
didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the
That
exchange
they
of
basically broke out. They didn't listen to the actual agreements that they were supposed to do. That Putin didn't do it.
prisoners. But he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but
I see.
He's-
It's not like Ukraine hasn't broken its fair share of agreements. I mean, yeah. So has I mean, just to be honest, like so has NATO, right? It's right, like oh, we're you know we're not gonna have other, you know, just as long as like you just leave them alone. We're not gonna advance NATO like eastward. Oh, this time it's just one country. It's okay. It's just after this for sure we're not gonna like do anymore. And like I'm not, guys. I'm not like, again, I'm on the side of the United States, but you have to like also consider it from like the other point of view. Basically, like just from like this snippet from what I'm saying is Zelensky. So Trump is like, listen, we need to negotiate, right? That's how I handle things. And Zelensky is like basically trying to say like, bullshit, the other people didn't do that. They didn't do it right. Speaking of like not of Trump's I mean, the thing is that like he's kind of grouping like Biden and Obama's policy like with Trump. So it's like J.D. Vance is a little irritated because like he's basically trying to undermine Trump's argument by pointing at like Joe Biden and Obama's policies.
you are speaking about. What do you mean?
He did it during Trump's time too, says Anonymous Dragon Slayer.
Talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr.
are
President,
From his
with
POV, a
respect, I think it's
ceasefire will only
disrespectful for you to
last as long as Trump is in office unless his country gets a security guarantee.
come to the
Yeah,
Oval Office
I mean, I
and
guess so.
litigate this in front of the American media. Right
That's kind of what I was saying earlier, is about how like the American elections, like it really affects like other countries in the world. Where like if you got like, for instance, like another person who, you got another like president that like basically is kind of, I guess weaker in terms of like negotiating, then yeah, it's gonna like cause situations where other countries basically are emboldened to take steps that they normally wouldn't.
now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this
Have you
conflict.
ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
And count once.
I've actually watched and seen.
But I also, okay, so one thing I think, like, and again, I'm just being honest, guys. I think that JD is kind of going super aggro here. I think so. He is right in that, like, this is not the time for like the comments that Zelensky does, but he's basically punching back when I feel like he could have diffused the situation here, but I don't know. Then again, like Zelensky should know better. He should know better to not do this, basically.
The story.
Like not in front of like all of these cameras. No, I mean, if you know Trump, you know that this is gonna piss him off.
And I know what happens is you bring.
It's like, what is he doing? Like I guess what I'm trying to say is like, even if he's passionate about it, even if Zelensky's pissed off about it, does he think that this is gonna get him what he wants? It's obviously not. Why the fuck would you do it?
People, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems like bringing people into your military?
This is the third time Zelensky is dodging the agreement. Vance is in the right to be aggro.
Was it earlier? Sorry, none. Was it earlier in the video that I just didn't see it?
It's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're
Okay, hold on.
doing. And do you think that it's respectful?
Damn, this got fucking spicy. This got way more spicy than I thought.
To come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
So two things. One is like, he's not, and guys, I feel like people are gonna get mad at me for this, but he's not really wrong. He's not really wrong here. Like, we do have the ocean. It does protect us from it. We are like insulated from it. That's true.
God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have.
But basically, like, the way he said it is kind of like, I'm gonna let them finish first before I say anything.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
Not
You
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position to
this question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be.
To be fair, America is not the same as Ukraine. It's not even remotely the same.
In a
From
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very
Have you seen
beginning
the
of
Russian
war.
Navy?
Not in a
They
good
don't have a
position.
great track
You don't have the
record.
cards right now. With us, you start having
Not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You
was
don't have the
saying-
cards right now. With us, you start having
Not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what you're
You're
speaking about?
gambling with
What are you
World
speaking
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks.
Wait, what? Did he say we've been alone? Dude, if they were alone, it'd be fucking over. Like, what is he talking about?
From the very beginning of the war, we've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank-
president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me.
equipment,
You invited.
Dang, Trump put his hand on him.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
Trump put his hand on him. Dang.
our
invited
military
me.
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3
I don't know. I don't know about putting your hand like offensively on another world leader, though. To be honest, I mean, he's a little mad, but like, I don't know.
You didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me.
equipment.
You invited
If
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks,
Less,
of course. Yeah.
maybe
It's gonna be a
less.
very hard thing to do business like this. I
And
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
except
times
that there,
thank you
except
to
that-
American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire.
Zelensky
right now,
wants NATO Article 5 to be enacted, aka NATO forces actively engaging Russian forces. That action would likely start World War III due to Russia's allies getting involved.
Yeah. For sure. Thanks for the bits to the Fed. Thank you.
want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a
But
ceasefire.
I said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire.
guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
Well, I mean, I get. Okay, so I kind of understand Zelensky's position here too, because again, like he's like, you want to do a ceasefire? How do we know that they're gonna actually agree? They're actually gonna uphold it? Like, are you gonna uphold it for us? Like, if you make a ceasefire, like if you think of it from Zelensky's point of view, like if they do a ceasefire and like say they do some kind of some deal where they say, okay, like Russia, you can keep this amount of territory, you get the fuck out of this amount of territory, and then we ceasefire. What Zelensky is basically saying is like, how do we know that they're not just gonna attack again later? Right? They're just gonna say like, oh fuck it, we had to deal for like a couple of years, like we don't really need it anymore, like attack again. Right? Like how does he know?
It wasn't.
There needs to be like some kind of like agreements that have force behind it. Thank you for the bits. Thank you, Filthy Animal. Thank you.
That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets.
Schrödinger's Russian war machine, too strong and too weak at the same time.
A smart person.
This
That
is
was
your-
with
this is
Obama.
your president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the
Sheets?
javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make.
I mean, the thing is it's okay. At the same time, what Trump is saying is actually it's true. We don't have to help them. Like there's like a weird like thought that like we have to help them. Like we don't have to. This is again like this is American taxpayers. This is like the citizens of America sacrificing our resources, and like again like we just literally talked about this before we watched this, times are tough right now in terms of like
I
economically,
think
like people.
what Zelensky means by America will feel it is the influence of the United States upon the world will wane if the USA backs out of Ukraine or if Ukraine loses the war.
Thank you for the bits, 500. What he means is that will feel the influence of the United States upon the world. Well, the thing is if that's what the way he wanted to say it, mentioning the ocean gap kind of is not a good way to say that argument. Do you get what I mean? Like the ocean gap is like a physical thing. So bringing that up in that context seems more like a physical threat. Melcher says, does it seem like Zelensky respects us in the U.S.? It seems like he doesn't care about anything other than looking good for the camera and securing more dollars and weapons. I mean, that's kind of that's kind of why Trump is mad. This is what I mean. It's like there's this expectation that like we owe it to anybody. Like
I feel like Trump is doing this on purpose. So
we're
we
a different
see how
country.
hard it is to make a deal with this guy and how much of a ass this guy is. A 4D siege.
Again, it's like basically it's not really like we don't have to help them, right? So like acting like we owe it to them and like not really being I guess gracious about it is kind of ticking off Trump. I think that's what's happening. Because it's like I said, the money doesn't come out of nowhere, right? It comes out of the pockets of everyone in America. It's not like when the government gives money and like when the government gives missiles and stuff and weapons to Ukraine, it's not like it came out of nowhere. Like it came out of like some etherical thing and then it spawned and then we gave it to them. It's not like that. It's like that is all money from the American people. The everyday person is, yes, suffering for this. And again, like you can make the argument that like, you know, Ukraine is suffering more or whatever, right? But again, we're not Ukraine. And that money has to come from somewhere. So the fact that every American citizen is paying for this and then like he should have a little bit more gratitude is what basically Trump is trying to say.
Because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks this
Yeah, it's like it's a bad attitude. It is a bad attitude. Yeah.
fire? What if Russia breaks these talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
what if
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden.
Their
because
suffering
Biden
doesn't
is-
entitle them to our hard-earned dollars.
What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
Okay? What if they broke it?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
What if a bomb drops on
That was
your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went.
Did he just acknowledge that?
I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama.
He nodded. He nodded.
They respect me. Let me tell you,
He's like
Putin went through a hell of a lot. He
He
went through
know-
a
he
phony
knows,
witch hunt
yeah.
where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing
yeah, that was pretty funny.
to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom.
Yeah, what about they dropped the bomb on your head right now? Not really the best response. But it was funny, you have to admit. It was at least funny.
It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't.
Again, this is the problem. This is the problem with the fact that America has such a whatever impacts America impacts like the rest of the world, right? Is because this could be true. This could be true that like they're not gonna fuck around when Trump is in office. But like what happens if like a huge pussy goes into office next? Right? Trump's termed out. He can't run next time. What if the next person is a massive pussy? Then like they're just gonna do it again.
What happened?
Ukraine has forgotten that they are not entitled to support, or to even win or survive. The strong survive.
I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And
I thank you for the bits, Fashizi. Thank you.
I don't think you'd be a
Yeah, they're not entitled to support. Regardless of like you can make an argument, like some kind of moral argument of like whether or not we should support them. That's separate to like them being entitled to the support, because they're not.
tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have
I'm
the
starting to
cards.
get really tired of the world dragging the US into their problems.
But once we sell
That's true, Nitronome, but like, guys, we gotta be honest here. Like, and you know, I love America. I'm on the side of America, but let's not pretend that like previous presidents haven't been fucking around. You know, whatever you want to call it, deep state, they've been fucking around with other people like fucking forever.
find that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing.
Deep state is the Republicans, full stop. It's both. And again, I don't want you guys to misunderstand me. I don't like the Republicans either. I don't like either of them.
All right, I think
A lot of people like probably saying that like, oh, I'm simping for the Republicans. I don't like them either. I don't like almost all of them actually.
seen enough. What do you think? Huh?
Centrist? No, I don't think that the Republicans actually reflect what I want. I don't think most of the Republicans even reflect MAGA itself.
This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thanks.
I'm about America and like whatever's best for America. That's what I care about. A true apolitic person shits on both. Yep. Republicans don't reflect conservatism. Yeah, a lot of them don't. That's why I don't like them. Anyway, let's see what like Trump had a response to this. He says, statement from President Donald J. Trump. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing.
Every time America went isolationist, the world went to shit. I fucking hate the globalists like the WEF, but America ought to stick in the game to prevent World War III.
Thank you for the bits, 500 drunk men. I mean, I'd rather we're in power than other people, so fair enough. Statement from President Donald J. Trump. This is on Truth Social. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I've determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage, I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. That is kind of true. I mean, without America, their bargaining would be a lot.
On a far more serious note, I farted.
Thanks, Anonymous Dragon Slayer. Thank you for the hits. But it's true that like without America, he wouldn't have as much negotiation power. In fact, probably like almost none. Really, like if he didn't have any help and support from like other nations, like it would be over for them basically. Let's see, I don't want advantage, I want peace. So he's basically saying, like, you got nothing without everyone helping you. So, I mean, this is just what I'm inferring. Like, you have nothing without everyone helping you. We want peace, and, like, we want peace, and, like, you need to understand that without us helping you, you really don't have I think that's what he was saying about the cards, is without America in the game, they basically already lost. So stop trying to use America for for your negotiations, because it'd be over without it. Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to say. And Trump is saying like, listen, I don't want to drag out the war anymore. Like
Zelensky wants to be seen as the underdog who beat Putin.
man, I don't know. Zuby, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. I don't. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, if you think about like Zelensky's position, okay, another country invaded his country, and they've done this before. There were deals that happened, and they weren't satisfied. They just went again. It's kind of like, at one point, is it enough? Like, again, like, I'm not, guys, I'm not a simp for Russia. I'm not a simp for Ukraine. I'm just trying to I'm trying to think about it like it's Civ. See, like, at the same time, okay, so both of these things can be true at the same time. If Mexico tried to join some kind of allegiance with Russia, we would 100% not let that happen. You bet your ass we would invade Mexico. We wouldn't let that happen. So Russia doesn't want that either. But at the same time, Ukraine is its own country. In the end, they are being invaded by Russia. Again, like I'm just trying to look at it like from a trying to understand like Zelensky's point of view, right? But regardless, like, was it a good move to just like, so even understanding like Zelensky's point of view and like, listen, man, like we got fucking invaded. They said that you know, we came up with peace agreements before. They broke it. How do we know that they're not gonna fuck with us again? I can understand like that emotion, but at the same time, like, it wasn't really wise for him to just kind of like go for JD in that case. I think it was probably better for him to just hold it in and then wait until they were like behind closed doors where they could actually negotiate this stuff. It was kind of a bad idea.
Isn't it crazy that right when we ended a 20-year-long forever war, where our politicians made money hand over fist via the war economy, Ukraine pops off? Remember, boys and girls, war is a racket.
Thank you for the bits to defend. Yeah, I mean, was it that guy said? Give war a chance.
Oh, you're saying, give war a chance.
He did have poor choice of words, but he's a leader who's having a country being attacked. The Vance did bring up the topic though. I mean, hold on, wait. I did talk about that. So
a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Human being you've ever seen.
In the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk
Look
of
up
the country.
Arthur Ahe, a Lithuanian YouTube creator. He has done a video on both Ukraine
Well,
and Russia, and the only language Russia respects is VO.
wait, hold on.
Maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, so did Vance start it? I think he was just basically agreeing with Trump and just kind of wingmanning Trump here. But what Zelensky does is he tries to like basically so Vance was trying to state a statement, but he opened himself up to have a reply by Zelensky. Well, I mean, like, is it really okay? So Vance saying like that they want to use diplomacy, and then Zelensky countering with Obama and Biden fucked that up is like, it's not really like helpful. It's not really helpful, especially like again, like in this situation where there's a lot of people. Do you think Ukraine should surrender their land for peace? Sometimes you don't really have options. Like, what's the option? World War III? Like, I don't see what the alternative is here. Let's say they surrender their land. What's stopping Putin from taking more? A piece of signed paper. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. That's what I said earlier was Zelensky's concern, which I said was a valid concern, right? I'm pretty sure I said that. I said that, right, guys? I'm pretty sure I said that previously. That that was the concern I could see Zelensky having, and I think that it's valid.